Should have got another one. What's up, folks? How are ya? Welcome to another episode of the Josh Potter Show. It is Josh Potter, here with you once again. Oh my goodness, the road has been so wonderful. I'm turning things up when they should go down. I'm all over the road today. 90 days without a Xanax. Boy, do I want one. So bad. Oh, you have no idea. This is really the white knuckle time. I didn't even think about it for the first 60. And then here we are. I'm like, I want one so bad. I can't sleep. Anyhow, the road's been fun. I've had a great time. We just got back from Raleigh just yesterday. Oh, my Lord, what a time. Roach is crawling out to Annie Letterman's show. It's so wonderful to see. Before that, we were in Chandler with Chase. That was a great time. Now we have up next June 1st, Poughkeepsie, New York, Laugh It Up Comedy Club. And then beyond that, June 2nd and June 3rd, I will be at the Saratoga Springs Comedy Works. And perhaps today, we have a few new Roaches joining us, testing things out. I was on your mom's house today, so that is a double dosage of the Roach on this Wednesday. So I'm very excited. What else do we have to let you know about? Oh, by the way, you can go over to my Instagram at Josh_Potter. Give that a follow if you don't already. I'd love to have you follow me along there. And that's where you can buy tickets too. Just go to the link in the bio or on Twitter at J_Potter. If you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe. Rate, review if you're listening on the old iTunes. Subscribe there as well. And boy, oh boy, do we have lots of fun things coming to us by way of our Roach reporters. joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send in things. Or you can send in musical numbers like Griff Parker here, who collabed with another Roach, Savvy Sosa, who comes to all my shows out here in Southern California. Renowned rapper. So I'm excited to play that next week here on this very program. So we'll have that. Kirsten to my left. We got Rob, we got Alex. It's a solo Roach episode today, and I'm very excited for it because lots of sports happening. The NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. Just had the Kentucky Derby go down. So many things. The NFL draft occurred, and let's just get into our version of the sports now, shall we? Beep, 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. And first up today, a bit of college football news. Jalen Carter, now this person on the Georgia Bulldogs, a very stacked team. So everyone talks about the Georgia Bulldogs. Hell, they just had a bazillion players get drafted in this past NFL draft. So maybe they're starting over. They're looking for the new recruits. They're trying to, fill in a lot of spots. So they're talking quite a bit about these newcomers coming into the Georgia Bulldogs. And here is some coverage on that. And I think we get probably the most important sort of physical attribute that we need when we're assessing these players.
What we're hearing is Jalen Carter, the D tackle from Georgia, just won a national championship with the Bulldogs. Big guy, 6'3", 300.
Now, many would think, well, did she screw up there? No, I think she was giving her proper assessment. That's what I want to know about a player. Big dick, big guy. I mean, one goes with the other, I would imagine. It's probably redundant to say big guy, big dick. But hey, I could have assumed, but I'd rather know for sure. Who is this person? Does it say at the bottom who this person talking is? I think she should give us all the dick analysis. I want to know who's got a small dick. That's who I want to know on the football field. That would be more. I bet there's more of them out there, the folk with the small dick, and that would also lead me to go, that guy's a bust. I don't want my team drafting that small dick. No, thank you. I would really have bias against my team. If they drafted a guy and they're like, man's only 2 inches long, they're good. They're talking about him. It's like, great vertical. He's got a 4.3 40, but his dick is 2 inches long. I would be like, that scouting report right there. I mean, that is a red flag. I'm not signing him necessarily, but man, I think we should really get into that. Don't you think? We should have more people's dicks. I want to know about their balls. I want to know how much cum they have in them. That all matters. In terms of, do they have the fire in their eyes? Do they have the eye of the tiger? Now, speaking of, let's just say, this next video, man, I love America. Don't you? Isn't this country really great? I know it gets shit on quite a bit, but one of America's great pastimes is baseball. And when I try to tell people why I love baseball, I get lost in the weeds. Sometimes, my words become flowery. People don't really understand my sentiments. A lot of them think it's some woo-woo talk, that it helps me remain present. I like being outdoors. There's something calming about it. The crack of the bats, the sound of the ball in the mitt, the cheers. There's also another element to it. These people are living baseball as they should. Here in the Philadelphia Phillies, I believe this is Citizens Bank Park. Yes, indeed. And here, get a glimpse of what it's like to just let baseball overcome you.
The pitching line for the Blue Jays, short Romano. He pitched 1 inning, allowed 3 hits.
Oh, look at, and if you're just listening at home, what we have is a very attractive woman not paying attention to the game, quite frankly. Her back is to the game. She's straddling a gentleman. Doesn't seem to give a shit about the people behind the man in the rose box. I mean, the guy right behind this man is getting a great view. Let me just put it that way. I mean, he's got his head right up in there, too. I mean, it's like a double lap dance happening at this point. And what I was waiting for was some penetration to occur. I mean, that would really put it over the top. I mean, is this lady on Molly? I like how there's this old lady getting down the stairs here. Looks like an old couple. The man noticed, but the woman didn't. If I was doing play-by-play here, I would forget about what's going on with the game. It would just be like, I would be very distracted if I was. I think the play-by-play guys of the Phillies are very fun too. Do we have the sound still? Put the sound back on. He's like up there, like, and Kyle Schwarber is coming up to the plate here, but oh boy, I'm not paying attention to that there, partner. We got a hot to trot young lady down the first baseline here. Few rows up, seemingly forgetting she's in public. I mean, she is grinding on that man. Maybe the guy was paying attention to the game more than he was paying attention to her, and this is her like, oh yeah? I love this dilemma. Up, and there's Schwarber with a foul ball, and it's caught. And the crowd, not all too pleased, but I'll tell you who is. The guy underneath that lady's caboose, my lord. God, we gotta find. Does it have her Instagram on the side? Did anyone find her?
No, some people were definitely asking for that.
Oh, the other people were asking as well?
Exactly.
What's her at? Hook the at up, homie. Nothing, though. You were scrolling. I did notice you scrolling over there. You know what I was looking for. That's good production right there. Find the at of this lady. Maybe you out there in the Roach world crawling around, maybe you know her at. Maybe this is your wife, and you're like, what the hell?
Now, Josh, I might be mistaken, but I think the person she's grinding on is another woman. If anyone else can confirm that, or they've
Alex, don't tease me.
I'm not trying to tease you, but I was watching this earlier. I was like, I think that's some lady on lady at the Phillies.
Oh my God, I love
Philip. No, he's sneaking in too, though.
Who's that guy?
Mr.
Oh my God, now that we zoomed in, holy shit. Look at this guy. So we do have a lady on lady, perhaps. We have a chance at lady on lady. My imagination is going to run wild. And then we have, now this could either be a guy telling them to stop, or he's like, hey, let me get my head in there.
He's not saying stop.
What's the bonnet? That's the lady?
I think
That's
so.
her bucket hat.
We found her.
Oh my God,
Ladies
Rob's
and gentlemen.
found it. We found the lady.
Adrienne Fabi. Adrienne. Last name Fabi. Fabi.
All right, good detective work. We didn't even need the roaches to crawl anywhere. We've discovered her. Let's find out.
We've also confirmed it was her best friend, who is a lady.
Whoa.
Oh my Lord.
She's got the blue
I love
bucket
you,
hat.
Philadelphia. She's private? Is that what that says?
Well, that's also a photo of a man, so I may have typed something in wrong.
She's a man?
Oh, no, what's happening?
We got to find her. I mean, so she's on a lady. That old man, do you think the old man was coming in to tell her to stop it or do anything? I think if I was the person sitting directly behind them and the old man came in, you're blocking the view of the game. for these folks. I would have been like, shut up, old man. Go to your section. Oh, there she is. We found her. Now I got to find her on my phone. How many followers?
5,529.
That's it? I'm sliding this girl's DMs right now. Good Lord. Well, that's awesome. I mean, the bucket hat lady is not in there anywhere. I'm sure she's dating one of the players. I don't know. You know?
That might be Bucket Hat Girl.
She's...
Maybe not.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a player she's dating. Belly De La Cruz, probably, or something to that effect. I don't know, but good golly, good find, folks. There she is. We've discovered her, and boy, oh boy. That's the kind of hot that I don't even fantasize about, truly. I mean, she might as well be a different species of animal than me.
We also have the screen name for the recipient of the lap dance.
Oh boy, so we know it's a girl then, yeah?
Yes, at
All right.
Little Baby Scorpio, all one word.
Little Baby Scorpio, little as in Little.
Yes, sir.
This isn't normally what the program is, folks, but I am off of Xanax, and this is my new Xanax.
I feel like I'm having a real Nadav's Googling moment over here trying to spell stuff.
Is that her? For the new folk coming over from your mom's house, this is a very familiar feeling. I don't think they spend a lot of times looking up thoughts on Instagram, though. I don't think that's something that Nadav has spent many a time. I think he'd get that part right. There she is. So we did confirm it is a woman.
There's the blue hat.
There's the blue bucket hat. See, now, if this was happening in front of me, I would be like, and can you believe we bought tickets to a baseball game and this is happening? This is like 2 shows in one. Oh, my Lord, what blessings. And then some old man comes over and is like, you need to stop obstructing the view. Let's see if he gets over there, if he's trying to get in on the action or if he's mad at them.
This
I like
guy
that you
next to them
zoomed
is
in.
definitely.
He's trying to get in on it, or he's
He's
trying
just
to...
like, what's up?
I wish I could see the front view too, and by that I mean just the other side. I'm getting obviously a wonderful view at this point, and I've spent so long on this video that I did not expect to spend this much time on, but I don't mind. The green bucket hat you see here, like when I was looking at it, I'm blind, so I didn't know that was another woman. It's good to get closer. They're very clearly bored of the game, and I don't mind it a bit. Now this old guy, did he bring them?
I don't know. He is resting his hand on his shoulder. He even at one time like pats her on the face, like, hey.
Meanwhile, the guy in the front of him is missing it all, but every now and then her ass probably touches his neck, and he's like, these idiots behind me keep tapping me. He doesn't even know what he's missing. He could just turn around, and maybe he did turn right there. He turns around for a second, catches a little glimpse. He's like, oh Lord, can I just? This is where I'd go like, oh yeah, so right if you go over here, you go left, that's the beer, you get the Trulies, you get the... And then God, Philly, I'm coming back there soon. And I will let you know about it. It's towards the end of the summer, part of the fall. I'm going to be coming to Soul Joel's, which is near Philadelphia. And that'll be in October. And then I'm also going to try and come to Philadelphia, too, if I'm allowed to. We'll find out with the Soul Joel's people. I don't know how close that is. Alex knows.
90 minutes.
That might be too close, but we'll find out how things go. All right. But let's get my brain out of that. Let's get into some serious news business, shall we? Now, this is a breaking story because this is something I've fantasized about once this whole YouTube thing blows up someday, you know, down the road, I fancy myself becoming a Mr. Beast of sorts and having bazillions of dollars to just throw away on curing people's blindness, whatever he does. He's like, I mean, the next video he should do is just like, I solved the homeless crisis. I mean, I think he's getting close to that, the way that he's going. He's like, I bought all the amputees' limbs today. That's our YouTube video today. And people are like, how dare you profit off of helping others? What an asshole, right? Well, I always said I would love very much if I had, a bazillion dollars. I would love to just crash a 747 and everyone can watch it. I thought that would be a fun way to spend my money. A YouTuber actually has done this, and now he is... he's facing 20 years in prison. So I'm glad this guy got it out of the way, because had he not done that, I would have gone to prison for 20 years if I would have achieved this monetary value. I think there's a video of it too, yeah? Do we have a video?
There is.
All right, pull that up while I'm reading the story here. A 29-year-old YouTuber will plead guilty to a federal charge after he destroyed the wreckage of a plane he purposefully crashed to gain views. That's why else would you crash a plane? And no one died in it. He did a baby bitch plane, though. Look at this thing. It's got a propeller. Buy a 747 and crash it. I mean, what do we talk? Why would you do that little dumb plane? And so the video shows a person piloting it to get it up in the air and then jumping out of it. And now, no, this is like Grand Theft Auto style, like jumping out of it and letting it just crash into the ocean.
They put angles on it, too.
When you do that in Grand Theft Auto, you also get the police on you. When you crash a plane like that, the police come. You get 2 stars, I do believe. Trevor Daniel Jacob admitted to authorities he planned to crash his plane in a video he made to promote a wallet. To promote a wallet? What the hell wallet is this? George Washington wallet? I mean, like, what kind of... I don't even know. I couldn't name one wallet company, let alone one that's rich enough to have a fucking... Is it Ridge? Because, good God, Ridge has come up in the world then. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Daniel Jacob admitted to authorities he planned to crash his plane, as we have said already. He later collected the aircraft's wreckage and got rid of it to hinder federal investigators from probing the crash site, according to a news release from U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California. Jacob, a pilot and skydiver, agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation. So you can't... See, this is the thing. If I crashed my 747, I would do all remote control, so it would just be like a drone. Like I'd be like, zzz, and I'd pull it up, lift it up into the air, and then I would just crash into the side of a mountain. So everyone would see it from where it took off to where it crashed. I wouldn't need to put it up in the air, because that leads to having a little bit more unpredictability. You don't know where that thing's gonna... The wind could blow and then you take out a town. I mean, that would be crazy.
Also, are you going back to collect the wreckage like it's a dead body?
Well, that's what he did, evidently. Yeah. Did you hear? I mean, he went back to collect it all. That's crazy. I mean, I guess he had a baby bitch small-ass plane, so he could do that with a 747. You know, I've got hundreds of seats. I've got, you know, where all the souls would have been. That's what I would call it, too. I'd go... The ghost souls. We'd put little mannequins in there too so we could see what they would do. I'd have angles. I'd have an inside camera. I'd have a wing camera. I'd have a cockpit camera. Jacob, a pilot and skydiver, agreed to plead guilty. We already mentioned that. The flight took place November 24th, 2021. Jacob departed from Lompoc City Airport in Santa Barbara, right around the corner here. I could have watched this. But he never intended to land the aircraft. He admitted in a plea agreement instead he planned to eject from his aircraft during the flight and video himself parachuting to the ground as his airplane descended and crashed. Now, that's very much like Grand Theft Auto. It just reminded me of that. It harkened to that. Did he send it into the ocean?
No, because I don't think he would have been able to get the parts back from the water. I think it's in the mountains here.
Yeah, because that's what's crazy about that is, like, you don't know what's down in there. What if some, like, old lady just lives up in a cabin or something in those mountains and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, right into this old lady? Jacob had put several cameras in different parts of the plane and took with him a parachute, video camera, and selfie stick. Approximately 35 minutes after taking off while flying above the Los Padres National Forest near Santa Maria, Jacob ejected from the airplane and videoed himself parachuting to the ground. After parachuting to the ground and recording the crash, he hiked to the wreck and took the video data of the crash with him, according to the release. Do you think the people up in the control towers were like, all right, flight 172, and continue on your course, and then all of a sudden it like loses it from the radar? It's like, oh my god! And they think they have like a fucking crash on their hands, and they're sending like emergency vehicles. Meanwhile, he's like scrambling. What did he have, like a semi truck to throw all the fucking wreckage in? That's bananas. I guess I could read to find out. After parachuting to the ground and recording the crash, he hiked to the wreck, took the video data. The YouTuber reported the crash to the National Transportation Safety Board 2 days later and agreed to share the site of the wreck. But he instead lied to them and said that he did not know where the crash site was, and roughly 2 weeks later flew to the site with a friend, loaded up the wreckage, and later destroyed it. How? I mean, these would sound like they're on another planet the way that they're talking. They had to fly to it. The authorities who knew where the dot was gone. I'm not sure how these small planes radar work, to be fair. They very well might not even show up on air traffic control in a lot of ways. Some viewers were suspicious of the stunt, with a number of comments pointing out Jacob was already wearing a parachute, made no attempt to glide the aircraft to a safe landing area, and took his camera and selfie stick with him when abandoning the plane. Oh, yeah, I love the internet. Fake. That's what they do to my 747 video. You know it. They'd be like, fake. There was people on there or something. That was just an old footage. Jacob admitted in his plea agreement that he intended to make money through the video. Well, yeah. Why else would he do it? The wallet company's like, nice, but also illegal. We're going to have to pass. He also admitted to lying to federal investigators after submitting an aircraft accident incident report and falsely claimed the plane fully lost power roughly half an hour after takeoff. Jacob also lied to the FAA safety inspector when he said the airplane's engine had quit, and because he could not identify any safe landing options, he had parachuted out of the plane. The FAA revoked his pilot license last year, according to the release, and he's expected to appear in court in coming weeks. 20 years he's facing. Well, we'll figure it out. This guy crawls so that we can run. I have to earn the money first, and then I'll do my 747 crash. I'll learn the lessons from Jacob here, and we'll do it. Don't you want to see one? Every time I see a I was just on one the other day, and I'm like, man, if only all these people weren't on here and they just crashed this into a mountain, that would be fun. I'd pay the price of the plane ticket just to watch that. I don't want to be on it, like I said, but I would want to watch it. Well, we have many Roach reporters sending things in today. We've got things from Luke Rutz. We've got things from Justin M. This one from T-Bone, who's trying to, help out his reputation. I mean, he started out the year with a bit of a blemish, sending in something that was fake. But he has since sort of redeemed himself, and I appreciate that very much, and I think this might help as well. A man from Illinois was arrested after deputies on patrol saw the man having sexual contact with a horse. This according to Adams County Sheriff's Office. Now, we've heard many a story about people having sex with a horse, and it always leaves me wondering, why a horse? I mean, if you're going to fuck an animal, a horse of all animals, that'd be my last animal of choice. A horse is so big. You have to get a ladder or something to get up there to the holes. You know what I mean? A horse is the least convenient animal to have sex with.
Well, they are usually by themselves. Like, they're in their own individual pens. You're not
But
chasing
they're
them.
fast. Although you're right. If it's in the stable.
They're in their stable, yeah.
But if it's out in the woods, I mean, they saw this guy. So here it is. Jack, R. Blanc, 40, was arrested on charges of sexual contact with an animal and criminal trespassing. The sheriff's office said the incident happened when the deputies were on stationary patrol and observed him on the property having sexual contact with the horse. So that leads me to think this thing was roaming about, eating grass or hay or whatever the hell, and then he just came up behind it with a fucking step stool.
I don't know. I feel like sexual contact is kind of vague-ish.
This is true because we do know Mr.
Maybe
Hands.
he was just jacking the horse off.
Now, if you were looking for an animal with perhaps the largest penis to put inside you, horse goes to the top of the list. I can't think of another animal unless you could have easy access to elephants, perhaps, or, I don't know. What other animals have huge penises like that are just roaming about? Do bulls? I mean, that is, when you're talking like a bull or something like that, now you are dealing with something that will kill you. I mean, the horse might as well, but the bull is like, bucking around. It's been known to kill some people, I'm trying to think. You got any animals?
Like big, like that you think would replace a horse?
Yeah, with a big old dong.
Actually, I just saw Tom Segura posted a photo with a whale's penis. And
That's
I think
right.
that would really fuck you up because it was about as tall as him.
Yeah, no, the whale's penis is unfathomable. I mean, although I have seen some starlets out in the world in adult videos who I would love to see them try to get that in their mouth because, boy, oh boy, some of them, they really like, you know what I mean? They really... You think when you see some of these cocks on these gentlemen, you're like, there's no way they're going to suck that. And then, boy, oh boy, they do. But yeah, the whales, I mean, maybe we can insert that if you can't find it right now, but the whale penis was huge. It was as big as Tom, and it was fatter than Tom. Especially now, I mean. But it would have been fatter than him on another day, too. Look at that thing. That thing looks like it'll walk around and hit you in the head. I mean...
It actually looks like Heidi Klum's Halloween outfit this year.
I think she was a whale's penis for Halloween. I don't know. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
That looks like that's a weird pull that you had in your brain. You're like, Heidi Klum from the Met Gala? Was it Halloween or was it...
Does this not kind of look like that?
I mean, do we know what she was supposed to be?
She's a worm.
She's an earthworm.
But it kind of looks like she took it from that.
Oh my lord, Heidi Klum, you don't even know what you were doing. You were a whale's penis this whole time. That is crazy, though, that they have it just in a jar. Do you think the whale's like... Do you think that's like a hung whale, or do you think that's like a... like an average whale? Because now it's in a jar, too. Like, if you cut off my penis and put it in a jar, you're taking about 3.5 inches away.
That's not erect. You can see the wrinkles in it.
Right. It's shriveled up, so it might even be huger.
Internet says 10 feet in length. So that looks like that's about 6 feet. So.
Right. It's a shriveled up, dried up, put it in a jar kind of thing. Because, yeah, if you put mine in a fucking jar, it'd look like a piece of chewing gum. You know? Be like, what is that glob in there? Well, anyhow, this is a bit of a feel-good story. This coming to us by way of Justin M. And it says here, boy with a slingshot stops kidnapping. So here we have a 17-year-old got an unexpected surprise when he tried to kidnap an 8-year-old girl in Michigan. So a 17-year-old was trying to kidnap an 8-year-old? I don't know. That sounds weird. I mean, you're a minor and you're trying to kidnap a person already? That seems early on to do that. The girl's 13-year-old brother aimed with a slingshot and ready to shoot. A few speedy shots to the head and chest was what the 17-year-old got before Michigan State Police tracked him down to a nearby gas station. So this is like fucking Dennis the Menace shit. I mean, there's a 17-year-old trying to kidnap an 8-year-old. That seems bizarre. How far could he possibly get? And then the 13-year-old brother. If I'm the 13-year-old brother, we're like the same age. This seems weird. It's not like an old man or anything, you know, where it's like Scooby-Doo. This is just strange. 17-year-old. I feel like they could have caught him in other ways, you know, like he can't drive past 9 or something like that. The girl was hunting for mushrooms in her backyard Wednesday. What the hell year is this happening in? Go on your phones, kids. I mean, Jesus, you're in the backyard hunting for mushrooms? Don't you heard of TikTok? I mean, come on. The fuck's going on in this town? The 17-year-old held the girl's mouth shut before a struggle ensued. So he must have seen her in the woods. These kids, this is why you put your kids on the phones. Because you don't want them hanging out in the woods with these other woods kids. The 17-year-old said he intended to severely beat the girl. Well, that's not something you say. Good golly. Who is this sling blade maniac? The girl's 13-year-old brother, armed with a slingshot, drilled 2 hits into the 17-year-old who fled the scene. That seems so strange, too, to just be like a guy who's like so dead set on beating the shit out of a 13-year-old girl that you told that to police. And you're just like, you know, 2 rocks to the forehead. You're like, ooh, and then you run away. I mean, this is all very bizarre. A slingshot, you know, how many little skadoosh. I mean, that is like a movie or something. That seems insane. That's like a video game where like you just like beat the boss. He's bewildered by the 2 shots. I think this guy is mentally challenged. That's what I'm going to guess this 17-year-old is, you know, to an extended level. He was thrown off by 2 rocks to his head. Michigan State troopers eventually found the 17-year-old at the gas station with wounds to his head and chest. What the hell? Maybe they were bullets. I don't know. What the hell was this guy slingshotting here? This kid, sign him up for a tournament or something. This is like Hunger Games. I want this guy on my team. The 17-year-old's name was not released by police, but police intend on charging him as an adult for attempted kidnapping and assault. He was sent to jail on $150,000 bail, and I'm going to venture to guess no one in his world can pay that. Boy, oh boy. Well, this story here involves a bit of murder.
Murder.
Police are investigating the death of a female restaurant employee whose body was discovered in the freezer of an Arby's in Louisiana this week. We have the meats, folks. Oh boy, they've got some meats, all right. I mean, would you even notice in an Arby's? I love Arby's. Don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, the smell of the Arby's when you walk into it, sometimes you wouldn't know the difference. What is this, a news story about it?
Yeah, this is just the article.
They just read it to you?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a woman being like, and today we found a body inside of an Arby's. Does it say which one here? Another employee. Okay, so it was in Louisiana. Another employee of the New Iberia restaurant, located about 130 miles west of New Orleans, found the body inside the freezer at about 6:30 p.m. local time on Thursday night, authorities said, despite initially calling the death suspicious. According to KLFY TV, New Iberia Police Captain Leland something or other told the television station that Lafayette that he believes it could have been accidental. So that means just somebody walked into the freezer and died, and nobody else went in there for quite some time. Because, I mean, it doesn't say how long it was in there for at the moment. A situation like this is unusual, so we're taking extra precautions during the investigation. We pretty much have completed our process at the crime scene. After completely processing the crime scene, this does not seem like a homicide. Okay, so it's a false one.
Murder.
We take it back. Put your dildos away, ladies, because turns out it was just someone dying in the freezer. Now, I don't know if it doesn't say here if they ate Arby's or anything like that. The coroner's office is currently working to confirm the woman's identity and the cause of death. It is concerning, though, that it must have been the lettuce freezer, since no one was going in there very often. The produce section. The coroner's office, as I mentioned, currently working to confirm yada, yada, yada. We're going to re-examine all the evidence, and they're going to conduct an autopsy to give us the cause and manner of death. There are a few more steps that we need to take before the final determination is made. The investigation is ongoing, so keep your eyes and ears peeled, folks. I would love for the roaches out there, if there is a wild cause of death, for you to let me know. Keep this story going. That one was sent in by Luke Rutz, by the way. Thank you, Luke Rutz. T-Bone coming in with yet another one here. This one, headline reads, "I'll kiss your tits." And it has nothing to do with that Phillies game earlier. Unfortunately. I wish it did. It's unfortunate that I have to bring the bad news that this has nothing to do with that Phillies game earlier. A pushy plane passenger went viral over his confrontation with several women on an American Airlines flight. He's defended his crude antics and said he's prepared to be boycotted by the white media. Well, that is something. Oh, is that him right there? Hell
That's
yeah.
him.
That he goes by the name of Cavassier Cox. Hell of a name. I wonder if that's on his passport. The foul-mouthed flyer, he goes by the name of that on social media. He appeared to have no remorse after he was captured on video pushing past other passengers to get off a flight in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and telling the female flyer he'd kiss her tits. That's going to get her out of the way, though. I mean, if you're trying to get through that aisle, he's one of these people that stand up when the plane lands. Usually that's tough. That's a tough go, especially if you're coming from the back of the plane. A lot of people aren't going to move for you. In fact, they're going to not move out of just pure principle of the situation. So I guess if he was like, "I'll kiss your tits," they were like, "Hey, go on ahead." Is that a picture right there of
Yeah, that's him.
whose tits is he trying to kiss here? Let's see. Is that the video? Let's see the video.
Well, that's not how I work. I make the rules as I go. Well, I make the rules as I go. I don't know about you, but I do.
Well, I break them.
Guess what? And I'm breaking them right now too. Excuse me. Hey, boss.
Sir. Hey, we got a hostile one back here. Yes.
Oh, we got a hostile one. They said pause it real quick. First of all, he might be hostile, but he also doesn't seem like he's going to enjoy kissing your tits. That's just an observation I made. I think it's just a turn of phrase now at this point. I don't think he's actually threatening to actually kiss the tits. Can we go back a little bit and watch it some more? Because this is more fun than I expected.
I'd say that face right there was him being like, "I'll show you hostile."
I'll show you hostile. Yeah, he's gonna turn up. I can't wait to hear him say.
I understand that we're all are waiting, but
we go
That's not how I work. I make the rules as I go.
So you're a psychopath?
As I go. I don't know about you, but I do.
You're crazy.
I'm breaking them right now too.
Oh no! He just shoves this lady.
Hey, we got a hostile one back here. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Knocking people over.
Don't be rude to me, because one thing I can do is be rude back to you. Is what
Oh,
I
can
can
you?
be.
Oh, let's just take it down.
I am, but I'm just saying, she's talking I'm hostile, but I can be rude as well. I didn't push no damn body. You want to stand in the way like you're a bodyguard. I moved you out my way is what I did. Have a great day.
Oh, by the way, can you pause this? This is so good. I'm lost in this. Take your Vanderpump Rules, I could watch airline fights all day. Isn't it amazing? I just got off a plane yesterday. If this happened on my plane, I'd become hostile, I'll tell you what. I would be out of my mind. Or it'd be a lesson in Zen where I would just be sitting there and trying to meditate because of it. And I'd be like, you can't control others. You can't control others. And I would want to get off this plane. But these women, all in their floral attire, do you think they all know each other? I mean, a flight to Fort Lauderdale and they just all look like this. They're all with their southern accents. You do not want to. These are a gay black man and white middle-aged women are, when they come together against one another, it's like just pure beauty. I don't even know how to describe what lightning in a bottle we're watching here. Go back just a little bit and so we can get the full breath of the moment.
They're natural enemies, Josh.
That's true.
You want to stand in the way like you're a bodyguard. I moved you out my way is what I did. Have a great day. I love you. And I kiss it more and more and more. And kiss your tits too, baby. Yes. Don't tell me to kiss your ass. Don't do that. It's not worth it. It's not, because guess what? You think I look pretty, but you'll see the ghetto come out of me, darling. Don't tell me to kiss your ass. I am, but I'm just saying.
Is this still going?
No, I went back because the "I'll kiss your tits" was just thrown in there really
quickly.
quickly.
The thing. So the kiss your tits thing.
It was kind of out of nowhere.
Then she said "kiss my ass" after as her response to kissing the tits.
And you said, "Don't you tell me to
Which
kiss
one's?
their ass."
Yeah, she's like, and then here's the thing, folks. I would if these are. It goes back to a discussion we had a couple of weeks ago. These insults that we're hurling: kiss my ass, suck my dick, eat my ass. These are things that are wonderful. How do you discern which one's which? So this woman heard "kiss my tits" and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna kiss my tits? Well, kiss my ass." Now, what are we talking about? How about you guys just fuck? I mean, what are we doing here? I don't understand these insults. So then he gets offended. "Oh, you want me to kiss your ass?" I don't know. She seems like he's kissed a few asses. That's all I'm saying. Let's watch it a little more longer because it's just so.
I didn't push no damn body. You want to stand in the way like you're a bodyguard. I moved you out my way is what I did. Have a great day. I love you. And I kiss it more and more and more. And kiss your tits too, baby.
He could have got off the plane, by the way, 10 minutes ago at this point.
Don't do that. It's not worth it. It's not, because guess what? You think I look pretty, but you'll see the ghetto come out of me, darling.
I like how all the white women are consoling one another. They're like, "Don't even give him the time of day. It's not worth it." Idiot woman! So crazy. I love it. Kiss my tits. Or kiss her. I'm going to kiss your tits. Is that the thing that they're arresting him for? I shouldn't have put it away. That's the thing that they're up in arms about? I'll kiss your tits. So I do want to make a very fucking clear point to a lot of people that it's in the comments. I am not going to say their names because who the fuck are they? This is like a reaction. Of course this person loves that he's in the news. Cavassier Cox, are you kidding me? I am not here to apologize to the motherfucker at all. I am not sorry for any of my actions. By the way, they're all blurred out curses. I'm just filling them in. My actions were intentional. Not only were they fucking intentional, my actions were based on their actions and the way they treated me. So I do want to make it very fucking clear point to a lot of people that's in my comments. I am not going to say their names because who the fuck are they, he says as he walks along a tree-lined boulevard wearing a patterned pink shirt. But I want to make it very clear that I do not go around just shoving women. That is not my intention. My intention that day was to say, "Excuse me, get off the fucking plane," because I've spent all fucking day in travel. I'm tired, and I'm not going to sit here and watch you pity and pussy the fuck around while I am tired and ready to go home. That's what I'm guessing is what he's saying, because it's
That's-
all blurped out.
That's such a great photo. I
Was this while he
you
was
can
fighting?
see that lady's printed shirt right there.
I told
The
this
blue
bitch,
one.
kiss your tits or whatever. Look at this guy. This guy is the man. I'm
Also-
on his team. But here's the thing, folks. You got to understand. When the plane lands, there's no getting in the front of that line. You can tell all the women you're going to kiss their tits. They're not going to let you to the front unless you can afford the front of the plane. That's what I learned. You know? Get some status, because boy oh boy, when you go outside your airline, when you have status, you're treated like a second class citizen again all of a sudden, you know? It's like I went outside my airline, and all of a sudden I was like, where am I? I felt like I'm trying to think of that movie where it's like where Richard Pryor like gets all the money and the other guy, or isn't there like one where they switch, where one becomes poor? Dan Aykroyd becomes poor.
Oh, you're confusing Trading Places, which is Eddie Murphy and
Oh,
Dan Aykroyd,
that
with Brewster's Millions.
Yes,
which
I
is
am.
Richard Pryor.
Well, we're 90 days off Xanax. We're not going to remember all the pop culture references. But I did feel that way. I felt like I was the guy that was poor all of a sudden, and I was like, I'm homeless again. But you can't get off the plane that quickly. There's no skipping ahead. You can try and play to people's sympathies. You can kind of be like, oh, I'm going to miss my connection. Maybe. Next up here, we have a kidnapping of sorts, but this comes to us by way of Roach Award-winning reporter Jefferson Nally. It's actually another false alarm. A 23-year-old Pennsylvania woman allegedly faked her own abduction earlier this week in a far-fetched effort to hide the fact that she dropped out of college and wasn't about to graduate. Oh my God. I mean, hey, more power to you. That's not a reason to fake your own abduction, though. I can think of a lot of reasons why you'd want to do it. Not graduating from college. You would have got, in 5 years, she's going to be like, can you believe I faked my own kidnapping for that? Who cares if I graduate from college and didn't get that communications degree? Chloe Stein, 23, was arrested Tuesday evening and has been charged with 4 misdemeanors, false alarm to the Public Safety Agency, falsely reporting an offense that did not occur, obstructing administrative law, and disorderly conduct, court records show. That's a lot for making up your own kidnapping. She was last heard from Monday evening at 10:30 p.m. when she texted her boyfriend while driving home. Oh my God, this poor guy. She has a boyfriend too. I mean, golly. She was driving home from work, saying that she was being pulled over by a police officer. Oh no. Her boyfriend tried to contact her again numerous times, but to no avail, police said. State police later heard from her family, who said they found her vehicle, a Volkswagen Beetle, abandoned on the road in an area of North Greengate Road. It was at that time that the family made a missing persons declaration and an expensive search for Stein was launched. I like how when they don't have to find the person, when it ends up being fake, they let you know how expensive the search was. They don't do that when it's a missing child. They're not like, and boy, oh boy, did it cost a lot to find Timmy in the woods, We had to get a lot of hounds. State Police Trooper Steve Lamani said to the news conference Tuesday evening that the department spent tens of thousands of dollars in the search, which included a flying helicopter in the area. I'd love that if they did that to a real parent who lost their child or something like that. They tell them how much it costs. That costs $20,000. How about you keep an eye on them next time, you stupid idiot? That would be a hilarious government guilt trip. Yeah, your fucking kid just cost the state about $20,000. Way to go. The case unraveled when a tip came in Tuesday night that Stein was actually at a home in Jeanette, about 30 miles southeast of Pittsburgh. When the officers arrived, they found her safe inside and she was taken in for questioning. At the state police station, Stein told officers she was pulled over and abducted by an unknown male who posed as a police officer. See, now this is where she fucks up. She could have just said it was just some guy. When you accuse the police of doing it, that's where they're throwing all these other things in there to try and fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely going to jail if you fuck with the police, She said her abductor had a firearm. She was blindfolded and taken to various locations in the area, but investigators were already suspicious of her account. Before they found her, they had received a call from Penn State University Officials which said Stein was not a currently enrolled student, contrary to news reports that described her as a senior. During the course of that phone call, we found out that she had not been attending college for quite some time, almost at the point where it's over a year, maybe 2, and graduation was right around the corner. That really led us in the direction that at any point in time, there was no police interaction, there was no pullover, none of that happened. So she was upset. This could be the biggest scandal to come to Penn State in many years.
I feel like there was a similar case of this, but it was a guy and he ended up just killing his parents. Because he wasn't going to graduate college and he didn't want them to know.
I mean, that's wild if that's the case. He didn't want, Mom, I didn't want you to know I wasn't going to graduate, so you have to die. I guess she would know then, wouldn't she? Why are you killing me? I didn't graduate. It's like the last thing she found out then. At the very least, you could have given him time to get over it. You got to have him killed. You can't do the killing, I would imagine. Can you just have... I wonder if that's like he paid a hitman. Can you have my parents killed? That way they don't have to find out the truth. What does it say?
I'm trying to find... I mean, I swear...
Well,
I read
you
about
keep
this happening
looking.
A while back.
This woman, I love it. She's just going to jail because she didn't want to graduate college. Penn State University. It's not even like she was going to like Yale.
It's funny too. She's like wearing like a school sweatshirt as they're like bringing her in handcuffs.
I think that's like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Either way, it's in like the design of a university.
Can you play this? I want to see if they show any more pictures of her. She was quote unquote about to graduate and she disappeared. Don't you think the school would have been like, yeah, she wasn't about to graduate, FYI. We don't want to, shit on the dead. Perhaps she's, dead or whatever. She wasn't about to graduate. Man, a state school. That's tough. Well, we've got another story here involving a fake death. This is an American fugitive. A Rhode Island man named Nicholas Alaverdian, a.k.a. Nicholas Rossi, who fled to Scotland to avoid rape charges in the United States, was recently interviewed by Dateline NBC, where he denies all the crimes being leveled against him. The man, who now goes by the name Arthur Knight, is currently being held in detention in Scotland, where he awaits extradition, back to the United States. He's being accused of raping a 21-year-old woman in Utah in 2008. In 2017, he faked his own death and later fled to Scotland. That's always like the dream. Obviously, forget the rape part of it, but if you ever get into a little, I would have done that before I would have faked my own abduction. If I didn't graduate college, I would have tried to fake my own death and just moved to Europe. I mean, that makes way more sense than being like, the police, I got a bad lieutenant situation and the police tried to pull me over and they stole me. During his interview with Andrea Canning of Dateline, the man denies claims that he's actually an American fugitive on the run from authorities, further ensuring his interviewer that he is, without a doubt, a British man named Arthur Knight. He's just doing a shitty accent. He's like, I am indeed a British man. This is our story that we have from the Dateline episode, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I just realized that as I was reading it, that I did watch part of this on Dateline. So you have the video of him here. I am indeed a British man named Arthur Knight. He claims that he is unwell and that this negative media campaign against him is further damaging his health. At one point in the interview, he says he can hardly even walk, trying his best to stand up before flailing his arms and falling back into the chair. I need sympathy. I can't even walk. My legs are so frail. Sitting there with an oxygen mask loosely around his face and sporting a dollar store British accent, the man gives us what might be the best bit of television we've seen in years. And we have it here, yes?
Yes.
Once a normal family, but thanks to the media, our lives have been
Can you pause it for a
interrupted.
second? The oxygen mask helps with the British accent. I mean, give me an accent. I can. If I had an oxygen mask over my face, I can sound Australian even if I wanted to. Hello, how are you? I can do it. I mean, that's a smart move. The oxygen mask, and he's fat, so people believe it. Okay, go ahead.
and we'd like privacy, and I would like
Privacy!
to go back to being a normal husband.
And,
But
okay, and the lack of oxygen helps, too. I mean, this guy really covered all his bases. It's not a shitty accent. I'm handicapped. There's privacy. He sounds like a Mike Myers character. I need privacy. Wait, lie, hey, ho, hey, I didn't rape a lady. Okay, go ahead.
I can't, because I can't breathe. I can't walk. People say that's an act. Let me try to stand up. Let me try to stand up.
No, don't stand up.
Exactly.
Exactly. Let me try to stand up. Oh, my oxygen mask is loosely on my face. Who's this broad that's with him, Kirsten?
This ride or die chick who's
my
this
God.
is my husband, Arthur Knight, and he can't walk.
Does he have money? Like,
no.
why? I mean, as a person who watched this more in depth than I did, why is she with him?
I don't know. Nothing about the Dateline gave that part away. I don't know why she's so ride or die.
I'm so perplexed at who sometimes has a lover. I really am. Like, what is in it for her?
I mean, and she's ride or die. She's like, this is an American guy.
Do you
He is
think
full
she
British.
knows that he is? Do you think she's in on it, or do you think she has been duped by the pure genius that is whatever this guy's real name is?
I think she might be duped because I really think she thinks he can't walk.
God,
right
there
here.
are women this dumb
Yeah.
in the world. Why can't I find one?
She really writes for him too. She's like, honey, no.
Let me try a stand. No, honey, don't do it.
Exactly.
She
What
tries
do
to
you
stand
say-
up, and he just literally, she shoves him back into the chair, and then he's like, exactly. And she's cute compared to him. I mean, he is a fat man with an oxygen mask and a fake British accent who is accused of raping a woman. Charged with it, even. Faked his own death, went to Scotland, and she's like, I see something in him. She's relatively pretty. I mean, I can't really tell, but is that her there?
No, this is Andrea Canning.
Oh, Andrea Canning. That's Andrea Canning. I can't. I'm so blind. Okay, go ahead.
What do you say to someone who believes that you are Nicholas Alaverdi?
I am not Andrea. I am not Nicholas Alaverdi, and I do not know how to make this clear.
What do you say to people who say
Oh
these
my
are crocodile
God.
tears?
Please
He's
go back,
putting on a show.
because this is genius. I'm so worked up that he can't get more than one British syllable out there. I am not Nicholas. And you almost start to hyperventilate.
His glasses are all fogged up.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's hyperventilating himself, so it's actually it's making him more short of breath. I take back what I said about this woman being attractive. Now that we are closer to it. Good God. Is she faking to be somebody new? Because she could just be I think she might have a wig on. Now I don't even know if I might have misgendered her, for Christ's sake. This poor
Idiot woman!
All right, so let's watch him again.
I am not Nicholas Alaverdi, and I do not know how to make this clear.
What do you say to people who say these are crocodile tears? He's putting on a show. This is all an act.
More tears.
That's a low blow. That's a right low blow.
That's a low blow. He can't even do English jargon. He should say something like, that's a kick in the knickers.
Now, this was not in the Dateline episode, but one of the most incredible pieces of evidence against him right now is a notebook that had other potential pseudonyms he thought of going by.
Nelson Stone.
So we have Charles King.
Charles King. That's a little too on the nose, pal. Especially because he just became it.
Robert Hood.
I mean, this is like what a child would do. He had to get those out of his system, I guess.
We should point out this might not be real. This could be fake. But
okay,
you're right.
saying
this
it's like a
could be
joke.
fake. I might have got duped, but I laughed because the
I
third
think
one
it's funny.
said Benjamin.
It's so
Benjamin Big.
I mean,
would've
that
been
was
a great
That's kind
pseudonym.
of better than the one that he went with.
You're right. I maybe got duped because I think this other one says Warwide Castle.
Warwick Castle. Yeah, Warwick Castle's a great name.
Okay, Warwick.
That's a good name. See,
Yeah.
Nelson Stone's
just an
good too.
idiot
Is that?
woman. Adrian Wall.
Did
Not
the
bad.
60 Minutes go into the tattoo element of
Yes,
this?
so that's the other thing. It's
Okay.
like at first, one of the things is like Nicholas Alaverdian had a whole sleeve of tattoos, and at one point, our
fat
guy
man had
Arthur
a
Knight.
sleeve?
At one point, Arthur Knight in this interview pulls it up, and he's like, "I have no tattoos, you see."
And he did?
He had no tattoos on his forearm, but then he
Oh.
goes to the hospital, and when he comes out of the hospital, they find that his upper arm matches all the same tattoos as the guy from the U.S. who died, and he claims that the hospital tattooed him when he was in a coma.
Well, that happens sometimes. They do elaborate tattoo work at a hospital and take many hours to do that. And so this made it to Dateline. This is insane. This is so at the end of Dateline, they don't have a conclusion, I'd imagine. It's the same as the story.
Nothing yet. They're like, I mean, he's still being processed right now. This is like
Yes.
an active.
Oh my God, the elaborate ruse. Now I can't wait for a court drama where he comes up in a walker or a wheelchair and then he has to give testimony. Boy, oh boy, I'm so really upset with, I'm mostly having a moment that I considered that woman was attractive. There was like a solid 3 minutes there where I thought she was attractive, and now I'm like, what on earth was I? See, this is hilarious. That's what he used to look like. Look at that hair. He's a real like, tonight's the night. He's a real fucking emo hair there. And now he's got like, he looked like I mean, that costume is something else. No, I've always been Nigel Rickenbottom or whatever the hell. And he's so much fatter than he used to be too, huh? Put on a lot of pounds. How many years ago was that picture where he had like emo hair?
I don't know. I mean, he may be a teenager. I don't know exactly how old he was, because he was like actually he was like in the Rhode Island Congress and stuff.
Oh my Lord!
Before he died, Nicholas was.
Nicholas Alaverian. Yikes! Come on, Josh. Oh my God! I have to go. Really have a moment of reflection. That's the sad part, folks. When you're losing your eyesight, you just go, "Who the hell is that?" And then you're like, "Josh, that's a guy." With long blonde hair. I've done that before too. So, we'll get by. But boy, oh boy, keep your eyes and ears peeled to this, Kirsten. I know you've been on top of it. And I watched part of that Dateline of this. I pretty much watched the scenes that we saw. But boy, oh boy, I'm really having a moment of like, I can't believe it. People are going to really judge me. She's so gross. Oh boy. It was alarming. Anything to add for this?
No.
No? Well, keep your eyes peeled. We'll see if we have any more. Look at that emo haircut. God, it's making me jealous. I miss my hair when it was like that. Boy, oh boy. Well, folks, I'm getting lost in the sauce now. Thank you so much for coming out to the Josh Potter Show on another Wednesday. Next week, a very exciting guest. I'm not even going to say who it is. I'm so excited, though. Perhaps more exciting for me than it will be for you. Dare I say. But I do want you to know I will be coming to Poughkeepsie, New York, June 1st. Laugh It Up Comedy Club. Saratoga Springs Comedy Works. That's June 2nd and 3rd. Thank you if you caught me on your mom's house and you came over here. Please go back and check out the catalog. Give us some views on the other videos. And give us a subscription if you can, whether it be on the audio or the video. joshpottershow@gmail.com is the email to get in touch with the show. You don't even have to send in a story if you don't want to. You can just say hello. Let us know how you're doing. I love hearing from all the roaches out there. Thank you to Griff Parker. Thank you to Kirsten, Rob, Alex. And thank you to you. We'll see you next Wednesday right here on The Josh Potter Show.